going on, y'all? It's the KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast, and I'm joined by my homies. It's your boy KP, Nerds Rule the World, my trios champions. I got Webster Style. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm here. Let's talk some wrestling.
Wrestling, big weekend, and of course the brother over there with the white tee, but the weird booty, my man,
Hey.
Sean Mongold. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great in my white tee.
Hey, in the white tee. All right, y'all, let's get double or nothing with AEW popping off this Memorial Day weekend, man. I'm excited. A lot of wrestling going on, man. A lot of things to talk about, so let's get right to it. Let's make these predictions of who we think are going to take it at AEW Double or Nothing. Let's start us off with the AEW International Championship. We got the current champion, Roderick Strong, versus Will Ospreay. Is Will Ospreay the golden boy, the guy they just brought in? You're not going to make this guy lose. I'm calling Will Ospreay. Sean Mongold, who do you got in this one?
I don't see Will Ospreay losing. We're also recording this as Dynamite's going on, so I caught a little bit of it before my internet went out. And the first match was Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy versus Trent and Roderick, and Wardlow came out and demolished Will Ospreay. And then they kind of, I think Roderick got the pin on OC. So it looked like, okay, the champs and like the heels got over on the go home show. I think the baby faces are taking it. So I think Will Ospreay is getting the belt. And then that's weird. But anyway, I don't want to prolong this conversation, but I could go and dive further into it. But yeah, I think Will's taking it.
All right. Well, when we have the aftermath next week, we'll be going a lot longer to talk about this stuff. How about you, Webster Style? What do you think?
My first inclination was Will was going to take it, but then the more I thought about it, and then Sean's comments, like I understand the dynamic, but I feel like Will win, but by DQ because there's going to be interference, and I think Roger's still going to take the belt home.
Ooh, yeah, because I kind of like Rod with the belt. And I don't know if that's the belt we want to give to Will out the jump right now. He's going to eventually get a belt. He's going to be a title holder.
I'm just thinking further in the storyline, just story, building that feud. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, let's head over to the AEW Women's World Championship match. It's a triple threat match. It looks Timeless Tony Storm, our current champion, with Luther. Oh, it's not. Never mind. I was getting thrown off with Luther and Mariah May in the corner versus Serena Deeb. I got thrown off with that, with all the names there. Who do you got, Webster Style? I'm gonna start off with you since I started with Sean on the other one. Who do you think is going to take it? Is Serena Deeb, our local Virginia hero, going to take it from the Timeless one?
All I got to say is this: chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. I'll leave it at that.
For those that aren't AEW stands like us, and me and my man Eldon are big on Timeless Tony Storm, where Sean has a little different take on her, because I guess we're old school. What about you, Sean?
I don't get it. The whole like grabbing Deeb's flag and then stripping down butt ass naked and wrapping herself around the flag. I don't get it. But I also don't get Serena Deeb. I don't think
I feel they're forcing her down our throats, man.
And the character's not there.
Yeah.
And then like there was like weird times where she does the promo without a mic, and then like you can't even hear her. And I'm like, well, did y'all not practice this? Like, what is going on? But anyway,
Right.
Yeah, Tony's not losing anytime soon. Like, Tony has to lose to a big feud unless she gets injured and they have to hurry up and take the belt off her.
Right.
Like, and I don't know what that big feud looks. It has to be like Jamie Hayter when she comes back, like a big feud, set up something for All In.
Or
Jamie is,
or
I think
DDS.
Jamie's UK, right? Jamie Hayter's from the UK. She's British, right?
Oh, I'm confused. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think she's British, so I think that would be a really good thing for her to pop up at All In, like have that culminate at All In, her and Tony Storm, and then have her. That would be the UK moment. I don't care for Saraya. Like Saraya's moment at All In, I wasn't in it. I would be in it for Jamie Hayter. So that's what I see. So I got Tony winning this.
All right. Real quick though, I'm curious if you guys caught it. We're wrestling stands. We're following the Twitters and the IGs. Did y'all see a pic of all of our beautiful AEW ladies? I think they're at Ruby Soho's wedding.
Yeah.
And all of them were there, and they had timeless Tony Storm in the black and white. They
I didn't see that. I gotta. Yeah, I've seen pictures, but I didn't see that.
Everybody
picture.
full color. They're all hanging out at the wedding. But
Yeah,
they grayed out black and white Tony. It was marvelous.
I love it.
I did not see that one.
Okay, I'll send it to you guys. It was super dope.
I've seen a lot of the pictures, like updates from their wedding, though, so it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, props to Ruby, and I forgot her guy's name, her baby daddy's name.
Cool Hand Ange.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angela Parker. Yeah.
There you go. Shout out to them. Respects. But hilarious. Whoever grayed out Tony Storm, dope. Loved it. Let's head over to the barbed wire steel cage match for the AEW TNT Championship. We have Cope, formerly the Rated R superstar as known as Edge, versus the man from the House of Black, Malachi Black. I'm all about the black. I'm going with Malachi Black. What say you, Sean Mongold?
This has been great. This has been a fun build-up. I'm not going to go too long into it, but like a lot of people were fearing that it's kind of going like the realm of Judgment Day just because House of Black and Judgment Day were so similar. And then Edge, of course, had his feud throughout all of Judgment Day, just like he did with House of Black. So if they were just doing like a regular match and not like a steel cage barbed wire match, I would felt it's the same. So I'm really hyped for this match. I see Malachi winning, coming out on top, like really kind of like drive home how strong House of Black is. You haven't had the titles on them in some time. None of them have had singles titles. You need to make them look strong. Have them go over and stretch this out. Like have him get the TNT belt, have it kind of prolong out, have, Cope go into a despair, and then he has to build himself back up, bring Beth back into it, and then have like a Malachi and Julia versus Beth and Cope, and do another I Quit match. Do a complete callback to the Judgment Day shit. Do it. But this time around, it's going to be the opposite. Whereas, Edge only said I quit because I think Mommy was about to slam Beth's head in with a concerto. But like this time, reverse it and like have Beth going to do it to Julia and make Malachi say I quit. So I would love something like that. Like that's a good story, like drag it out, like keep dragging it. Like just because Cope loses the belt doesn't mean like the feud's done.
Yeah.
Like keep going. Like I always feel like when like the belt changes or something like that, sometimes people feel like, all right, that's the end of the story. No. Like the babyface lost. He's going through changes. Let him go through the changes, hit rock bottom, go insane, do whatever, have his redemption, build back up, and feud with House of Black again. So, I see Malachi winning all day.
All right, yeah. How about you, Webster? What do you think?
I'm agreeing. Malachi, and I agree with Sean as well. It shouldn't be the end of the story. It should be an ongoing feud because this has been really good, and they can stretch this out in so many different angles that they would be stupid not to continue on with a storyline that's actually working for them.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think.
And it's been a short build up too, which has been even better. It's been a short build up. Excuse me. They've told a good story. Add more depth to it. Have it go on a little bit longer, even with a title change. But I think all in all, it's an excellent way of pushing Malachi Black and making him look strong, putting that title on him, and really elevating the House of Black more so than when they did with trios titles are afterthoughts. I don't care what you say. They are.
You said what?
The trios titles are afterthoughts.
I don't know. We'll have another conversation about that later on when we talk about the Bullet Club. But yeah, I love that, like the stealing of the wedding ring, like small little things like that. Right. Like so that's what tells me is Beth has to come into play. Like you steal the wedding ring, from his finger, which it's such a small nuance. I don't think anyone's really done that before. Like take a family heirloom, but like never a wedding ring.
Right.
So I'm hyped. I hope they better stretch it.
Yeah, I like it. I agree with you both, man. I think the House of Black. I think if anything, the House of Black really deserves it because they've been kind of, I know you're a big House of Black fan, Sean. Like they weren't doing much now. Like let's do it with Malachi and all that. Yeah. Real quick before we get off of this, another anecdote of being a wrestling stan fan like we are. Did y'all see Buddy Matthews living his best life with a great pillow known as Rhea Ripley? Did you see that image?
I did not.
Gentlemen, I got stuff to send you.
I didn't see.
Buddy Matthews is living his best life with a nice set of pillows.
Yes, I figured exactly what that is. Just
all right, gentlemen, let's head over to our next match. We have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match, where if Takeshita wins, he will receive a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Obviously, we're talking about Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita, and I probably messed up the names. Y'all know. Who do you got, Sean?
Oh, Takeshita.
Yeah. Takeshita. But I feel weird about them putting an eliminator match for another promotion's title in their pay-per-view.
It's weird, right?
It seems very weird. And I don't understand. And it's yet again 2 AEW wrestlers and not a New Japan. Like if it was like a New Japan person and it was like a small little Forbidden Door match within the pay-per-view, it was the same thing. I think like at one point in time, I think Will Hobbs fought Jon Moxley for the belt on AEW, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, Will Hobbs isn't in New Japan. Like, this is weird. Like, why are we doing this? So it's going to be an amazing match. I love Takeshita. Takeshita's amazing, and I feel really bad. Like, he did an interview talking about how he could never be like a top guy, in like a U.S. kind of run promotion because he's foreign.
Saw that, yeah.
Which sucks, man, because I don't know who makes that decision to not push Takeshita, because I feel like he was so fucking over when he was having those bangers of matches and going against Kenny and going against like all these different people. Like I feel like he was so over, even in All In. Like he was just so over, and then they kind of like fed him the Don Callis family, and he kind of gets drowned out a little bit.
Right.
I don't get it, man. Like, he was so over and so good. I don't see why they are not like strapping a rocket to him like they are Will Ospreay. It just sucks. But anyway, I don't see Moxley losing. I think it's going to be an amazing match, and like I hate to go to like the DQ route, like to protect everybody. But I unfortunately I think Takeshita is going to take the fall. Or it's going to be some kind of stoppage or something. You know what I mean? Like, kind of reclaim some strength for Takeshita. Like, maybe he's bleeding too much, gashed open or something. You know how Mox gets with the blood and shit and a little death matchy. So maybe he just starts leaking too much blood and the ref stops it or some shit to protect Takeshita. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that is one of the matches I am looking forward to. That's just the kind of certain nuances of it makes me go, why are we having this match at this pay-per-view at AEW for someone else's belt? And it's just not even for the belt. It's an eliminator match.
Right.
But anyway, that's my thoughts.
Webster Style, who you got?
Yeah, I'm echo the same thing. Why is this happening? And Mox is going to win.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Takeshita because it's not for the actual championship, so that's it's to go have a chance for it. So I think that's that gray area that, he could probably take it. So, and get the win over Mox,
which belt does Mox have?
I think it's
belt, right?
I think he does have this belt. Now he can actually go contest him for this belt. So I think that's why. I think this is the belt.
Heavyweight champion. So he has like the top belt in the promotion.
Yeah. I think this is the belt that Mox has.
Yeah.
So how's an eliminator match against a champion?
Which is weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is the chance to actually have the championship match. So it's basically they can play this out.
Oh, like a number one contender match. Okay. Like if you win,
you get a shot at the title.
At the belt.
So now Takeshita will get that chance.
Okay,
Takeshita's gonna take it.
Yeah.
That's
If
why
Moxley loses, he doesn't lose the belt. It just gives Takeshi the chance to actually win the belt the next match.
there you go. And because they're not so weird that they're doing this. Anyway, so let's move on to the next match. Singles match. Two former best friends forever, but no longer. Webster Style, Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy. Who you got?
I got Trent. I think it'd be good momentum for Trent, especially with the arc they're pushing. And also, they are doing some good character work with Orange and that kind of change he's having. So, yeah, I think Trent.
All right. What you got, Sean?
I'm of two thoughts because, I just mentioned the match currently that happened on Dynamite tonight. And they kind of got their asses beat. So I always feel like in the go home show, if you get your ass beat, you should win the pay-per-view. But Don Callis was sitting ringside and kind of doing this weird, oh yeah, Orange Cassidy has it all. He has the speed and the skill and the wrestling prowess, and he's handsome as hell. And I was just like, what the fuck? So it's he's perfect for the Don Callis family. I think Orange Cassidy wins. I think he wins though by accepting Don Callis's help and
cheats to win.
Yeah,
I feel that.
And
okay, you brought me back there on that.
I think this starts a new arc for Orange Cassidy. I feel very much Orange Cassidy is kind of in this Hugger Bailey era. Same with Willow. And he's been that way for 5 years. Yeah. Same with Bailey. Bailey was the hugger for a ridiculously long time. And when the heel turn came, it was great.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is that moment for a good shift and have him be heel for a little while, and then, when he comes back as a babyface, inevitably, it's going to be great. But you know what I mean? For that heel, for that baby face, you have to hit the rock bottom. You have to go through redemption. You need that time away from that baby face character because it gets boring. And right now I am currently bored of the Orange Cassidy gimmick. And I think it has been for quite some time. So I think this would be a fresh and a good start to do a heelish Orange Cassidy.
Okay. Guys, you grabbed me right there, Sean. We're all fans of Trent Beretta. Our last show we talked about how good that this character is now becoming, and he's being able to be himself a little bit differently, and just separate him from the rest of his best of friends. So I was with Eldon at the start. I want to see him win because, again, and to your point, we're tired of Orange Cassidy in this current construct. But if you flip it and have him cheat to win, and this be the birth of his evil run, his heel run, I'm all about it. So if it's gonna be the birth of a heel run, I'm OC Orange Cassidy. But if it's not, give me Trent Beretta all day because I'm tired of this same old with Orange Cassidy.
Right.
Let's head over to the next match for the FTW Championship. This match, Chris Jericho, current champion with Big Bill, with Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. Versus Katsuyori Shibata. So it's Jericho, Hook, Shibata. Who do you got on this one, Sean? I'm just over with Jericho.
I'm over it too.
Anybody but Jericho is who I want.
And I think he knows that people are over it and he's playing into it and he's making it work a little bit, which is weird. I hate him so much because he's so in tune with wrestling culture and he knows how to pivot. And that's a veteran. Not just in the ring, but in the psychology of wrestling. Unfortunately, I think Jericho still wins. I would like to see Shibata maybe screw over Hook and go to the learning tree. Yet again, to cement...
That makes sense.
Yeah, to cement the true underdog babyface of Hook to have to now go through Shibata, who he thought was his mentor, go through his old mentor's new student and Big Bill, and then get to the original mentor of the learning tree, the tip of the learning tree. And that's good for Hook. There's a good build for Hook, that establishes him as the underdog, like the Daniel Bryan, esque underdog to have to go through the evolution. Remember evolution? Like Daniel Bryan had to go through all three of them
Yep.
To get his belt. Granted, this is not, the world champion belt. This is just the FTW belt, but it finally puts Hook in a decent story where he's facing all the odds and has to build up. So I think Chris wins, and this unfortunately gets stretched out and goes further.
All right, Webster style, who do you have?
All right, I was thinking Hook, but Sean makes a very compelling point, and
Yeah,
I agree. I think that Shibata turn and join the learning tree makes a lot of sense. So begrudgingly, I'm going with Jericho.
He's going to have the Google translator be like, I'm joining Chris.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Now you've turned me. I don't want anybody but Jericho, but that makes sense, Sean.
And since they had Samoa Joe on last week, I think Joe becomes Hook's new mentor because they had a little spat early on,
Right.
when Joe was champion.
Yeah, and that was cool.
A lot of turns on him, and then Joe's just kind of there and was just like, if you need help, I got your back.
I like that.
So we'll see. But I think that's the route to go.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna skip around. We have 3 last matches to go. Let's start with the Anarchy in the arena match. The Elite, Okada, Perry, Jackson, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson versus Team AEW, Danielson, Wheeler, Dax Harwood, Darby Allin. Who's taking this? The Elite or Team AEW? Webster style. Who you got?
I'll tell you, I don't care.
Speak your truth, Webster style. Speak your truth.
I don't care about this match. And don't get me wrong, the whole EVP thing is growing on me. I still don't care. I'm going to go with Team AEW.
Team AEW. All right. What about you, Sean? Who do you got?
Yeah, I got Team AEW. I'm in the same boat. I don't really give a shit. They kind of threw this Team AEW together, I think, way too last minute.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make sense. Like Team AEW, it's just like the Elite are the EVPs of AEW, created and founded AEW. That's the whole storyline. How are you Team AEW?
Exactly.
Like, and I understand putting Darby in there because now they have 2 pillars on either side. The AEW pillars, you got Jack Perry on one side and you got Darby on the other. But I really wanted that to go to Daniel Garcia.
That would have made sense. Can we talk about how
he's been tagging with FTR?
Darby?
What? I don't understand it. We talked about it a little bit last week. Like,
talk about blowing your wad.
Bro, hit by a bus. Have a broken foot, and then they wheel him out. I'm like, Daniel Garcia has already tagged with FTR and viewed Bryan Danielson as a mentor, had a whole thing with him. Like, there's history there. Darby, not so much. Darby had no connection with with Bryan Danielson. He had no connection with FTR. He's been with Sting for the past 2-3 years.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but unfortunately, Elite's winning. I don't know who beats them, but they're going to continue.
I'm with you. I don't care in this match either. Let's head over. So I'm not even going to give one. I don't care. Let's head over AEW World Championship match. Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage, Patriarchy. Who we got? Shawn Mongold.
I mean, Swerve.
Swerve's
going to overcome.
Yep.
Overcome it all.
Yep.
Like if they take it off of him so quickly, I'll be mad. But
yeah, I agree.
And
I think it's gonna be a good match. I think there's gonna be tons of interference.
Yeah.
But Swerve.
All right.
I think Swerve gets win.
There you go. Yeah, he ain't losing this belt. All right. The match of the night. I made it the match of the night. I'm sure the Swerve match is going to be the last match, but we have Willow Nightingale, current champion, versus wrestling for the first time ever at AEW, Miss Monet, Mercedes Monet. Shawn Mongold, call it.
I say I don't know what to say, man. I have no fucking clue which way it's going to go. I want Willow to stay champion, but like we talked about last week, I don't see in good faith them having hype Mercedes up all this way just for her to lose. Unless, like I said, unless Britt Baker comes out and interferes, and maybe Mercedes wins because of the interference, but doesn't get the belt. But then that starts drama between Britt and Mercedes. That's the only way to keep that belt on Willow. But I feel like they're just going to pull the trigger and give it to Mercedes.
I hope it's just good. Yeah.
I hope it's a good match.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Mercedes wrestle in a long time. I hope it's a barn burner. Like, I hope it's a slobber knocker. I hope we get a bunch of good spots. I hope we get good wrestling, and I hope we get good outfits. I mean, we know we are with Mercedes. So, like, I can't wait for the theatrics. Like, I really want to see this be a banger.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Like, as long as it's a banger, I think I'm good, no matter the direction.
All right. What about you, Webster Style? Who you got?
I think that we have a consensus that in addition to being the trio champions, the NRW House of Black, we're also part of the Widow Nightingale fan club over here. So it's very hard to even stomach the fact that she could possibly lose in this. But Sean's points are spot on. I am very much where he is. I am torn. Logically, it doesn't make sense for Mercedes not to win, but I don't want her to win, and it doesn't make any sense for you to take the belt so soon off of Willow. But I got to make a decision. I'm going with Mercedes, but I feel like Mercedes wins through something. I can't decide if she's going to win a belt. I think she's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be legit. I'll put it that way.
Do you think it's going to be like a full heel turn? Because, I mean, they've kind of been playing her as
full heel turn.
This middle, I think so too.
I just hope for a good match. That's all I hope for. I hope for a good match.
And y'all know I'm a Mercedes stan,
right?
And I like Willow, but I'm a little bit more of a Mercedes stan than obviously Willow. So it better just be shenanigans. I want shenanigans to be the why she wins.
What if Stokely screws over Willow after all this time because Mercedes has
very possible?
That would be good.
Stokely's about the money, so if she's talking about all this money talks and being this hot commodity, even though they've had this buildup, what if Stokely and Chris just kind of betray Willow?
Let's go.
That makes sense.
Team Monet. So
there you go, y'all.
There's things to do.
Yes. All right, y'all. Those are our predictions for AEW Double or Nothing popping off this Sunday, May 26th, Memorial Day weekend. Stay tuned for the next KayFabeyBaby next week, where we'll talk about the aftermath. Also, this weekend is going to be King of the Ring, so tune over to that episode. We're getting ready to record that right now and give those predictions. So again, a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff coming up on KayFabeyBaby. We're going to get up out of here. So for Sean Mongol, the Weea Booty, go check out all his links. It'll be in the description. My man Webster Style, Sartorial Geek, his links in the description. It's your boy QP, Nerds Rule the World. We're out of here in a 1, 2, 3.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring. I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before. You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning. I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no! Oh, that fits right.
Boy, and I'm coming hard.